One of my colleagues came to me and said, you know, we could send an object to space. And I immediately loved that because I thought about Superman and him coming from space, crash landing in Middle America. And I immediately thought of the artist Robert PRUITT, who was perfect for this.
The actual sculpture is a Dogon figure. I use a lot of Dogon figures in my work. And the Dogon have a long history of stargazing. And since we were going to send something up, I felt like, yeah, that's perfect. I use aluminum foil on sculptures like this all the time. It really transforms it to almost an alien identity once I wrap these things. I gave it an antenna, gave him a suitcase, just to kind of switch the identity of this thing from just a purely kind of African object to African and something else. And that something else I think is closer to a Black American identity. It's kind of meant to reflect this thing about myself, I think. The mythos of Superman traveling here as a child to like live on Earth, an infant being shot out into outer space to live with some farmers in Kansas. In many ways, it kind of mimics this Middle Passage idea of like Africans being shipped from Africa here to the Americas and the loss of a home that you never knew. I think it just reflects a similar idea of leaving and arriving and what your identity is between those two places. Like for me, like the suitcase is meant to reflect that leaving. He is prepared to be in another place for a long time in a way that I think Superman, you know, he's sent here with keys to where he was from, like, you know, the crystals and creating that fortress.
Can you tell us what's in this?
I don't know why I was keeping that a secret, but it's so a few years ago, a friend and I, we went to the gravesite of Sun Ra, huge influence on me. And I took some of the dirt from that grave and I've had it for years. If just in a symbolic way, holds some of his energy or some of his like spirit into space and back. Yeah.
Oh, little friend, you come back to us safely now. Enjoy your journey. I look forward to hearing your stories.
During the performance, when Rondo, my performer, sort of talked about like being stuck on Earth because of gravity, like that has all kinds of like metaphors for like white supremacy and oppression, using breaking free of gravity as like a metaphor of like breaking free of those issues.
I'm no stranger to a good laugh, but I'll tell you what's funny. What's funny is that you think you belong here. You really belong up there, out there, continuing that journey. Raise your hands. Repeat after me. Space!
Space!
We release you!
There we go.
Oh, there it goes! Such a joyful moment.
Yeah, it's not the direction I was expecting to. It should be back on the ground in the next, within 3 hours. Perfect. So, Alejo, what did we just do?
We just launched a sculpture into space.
And now what are we about to go do now?
Now we're gonna go track it down.
Somewhere in central Arkansas.
The audio that went up with this piece was made by a musician friend of mine in Houston, Jawad. It's very meditative, and the idea is looking at the earth as you're leaving, as a way of reflecting on like the smallness of some of our actions. And the second piece, I sometimes make beats in GarageBand just as kind of a hobby. The rhythm was more repetitive in my mind, imagining this thing kind of falling. I wanted this sort of soundtrack that like mimicked what I feel like that would have felt like for the object. Quick descension and the music, you know, reflecting that feeling.
We're in Hector, Arkansas, population
450.
450. and we're getting close, and we should have it hopefully soon. So that's what I call it. We're going to get there. The sculpture will be hanging at eye level from the road, but to get there we have to climb down 30 feet, and then back up 30 feet up a tree. The only thing I brought was gloves. Give me one more second. Let me double check on this.
It'd be really cool if we were lured in by the music.
All right, let's try this again.
We went down a mountain and noticed that it's kind of on the other side of another mountain. So we're back in the car. We're going to drive to the other side and try again. It's a house and there's a gun sign.
Yep.
How close is it from like the end of what looks like their property to like what it is that we're, or like where we're trying to get?
Like, just basically. Well, do you live up at the end of this road? Okay. This is a funny story, but we launched a weather balloon from Bentonville this morning, and it traveled across the state forest, and it looks like it's on the other end. It's next to a pond that looks like it's on the other end of this property. Would you mind if we parked at the end of the road and walked across your property? Is that okay? All right, thank you. All right, I'll follow you up.
Beautiful house.
That is not bad.
Man, I'm not good at
Okay.
stuff like this. Alright, as far as you can see right through there, you see that shining water?
Uh-huh.
You're to the left of it and down in that hole there. See, you're down there at my tree stand.
All right.
There we are. There's your little creek right there. See in your bow.
Okay.
It looks like it's down. It's down right through there.
Thank you.
Oh, there's a sculpture right there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, the sculpture fell from the. You know, we might be able to. I think we can get that. The sculpture's not attached to the parachute anymore.
Nice.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, because the parachute it's all the way up there.
The parachute's up there.
All right, what if I try to hit that branch that it's attached to though?
Do it. But I don't think that's gonna work.
Nope.
Keep trying.
Close.
There we go. There we go. There it comes. Oh, it's still attached.
Of course.
Oh, we have it though.
I feel like we just pull it.
Oh, there we go.
Woo! Look at that.
We got all of it.
Nice.
That's the tractor right there. Music still playing.
All right.
Tell Robert that we hiked this thing out listening to his tunes.
Hey,
What up?
guess what?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Show him the view of the sunset from here too.
Oh yeah.
Great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was definitely in a forest.
Yeah, we made some friends. The Descent music is still playing too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go home. With a sweet, sweet soundtrack.
That's a little bit bigger than what I'm playing in our field out there one day.
Do y'all mind if we post this picture on our Instagram page? Is that all right?
Oh no.
I won't. I know.
No, we don't do that.
I won't.
It's just like Facebook.
Let me hold that thing a minute. Get me a picture of this between me and my darling wife here.
All right.
Come here, Brandon.
All right.
Did you get the moon at all?
All right, I got that, Tom. Super blood moon tonight.
Oh, wow.
Seeing the image of it in space, I just realized now like more things are possible. I kind of want to see if I can amp this idea up even more. Like how much further can I take it?